I have taken the time to do my homework as I should have.
Oh, you really like. You hear it?
I did.
Oh, okay.
It just turned to 6 o'clock.
The clock is wrong.
It just
All right,
went to sit. Right.
let's call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Roll call. Leonard,
I'm here.
Innes,
Here.
and I am here. Any public comments? Got the floor.
Thank you, John Liskey on behalf of Local Roots. I'm here just because I wanted to be part of the conversation because on our request for reducing the renewal fee from $3,500 to $500. And I know you guys have talked about it at a couple of finance committee meetings, so I thought I would come and just ask to be part of the conversation as you consider things. And first of all, I want to appreciate the fact that you're even considering. And I kind of apologize for taking up your time. I know how busy you are and you've got much bigger things on your plate, but this is a big thing for us. The main thing I want to convey today is don't dispute the fact that the renewal fee as stated in your ordinance is essentially the same as other communities. That was kind of a cut and paste job back 5 years ago when all these ordinances were created. But the ordinance, if you read it, says that the fee is supposed to be used to reimburse the city for their administrative costs. And now you've had 5 years of experience. And so I don't, and I think Kim made a comment previously, that it doesn't take a lot of time to process a renewal. So that's where I'm coming from. And I appreciate that, you're considering like a one-time thing. But the reason I came today is to focus on that it's a fee, it's not a tax. I mean, it should be reimbursing the city for your overhead and expenses in processing. So I wanted to kind of reframe the thought process to ask you to also consider that. And I know others have said, well, the fact that you get $50,000 a year from the state is unrelated, but I think you should put it in context. I mean, you are getting $250,000. I mean, that's huge. So is this a $3,000 reduction request? And put it in context of what we're bringing to the city. I mean, I feel like it should be a partnership. And when times are tough, we're going to come and tell you when times are tough. When times aren't tough, you can tell by how much we're sponsoring and the turkey giveaway and all of that kind of thing. We love this community. We don't want to leave. We're not going to leave. We're going to, but we're like any business looking to save wherever we can. The city has a really rich history helping local businesses. I'm the best example. I'm delighted to say the carnival recently had a different energy to it. And I was talking with a neighbor and we attributed it to the fact of the social district. Because now adults can walk around with beer in their hand while the kids are on the rides. And I'm telling you, it was different. It was, even despite the weather, it was great. And that was an example of Kim working her butt off with the DDA to get that social districting thing. And that helped the local bars. And, it's an example of what this city does to help local businesses and. You know, we're here to ask, you know, that same kind of consideration, and that's all I've got to say, other than I would like to. If you put this matter on the agenda in the future, I'd like to know about it so we could get, you know, have a conversation, whatever you guys. Decide, or whatever the council decides, it's gonna be fine with us, but. I just felt that. Yes, the original fee was in the ordinance at $3,500. But it's supposed to be, and it, you can read the language, it's supposed to be to defray the costs incurred by the city for the review and issuance of the permit renewal. So that's the context I'd like you to think about going forward.
Absolutely. I will make sure we get in the notes that if we are going to be talking about stuff that applies to you guys, that we definitely reach out.
Thank you. Well, one thing I forgot to mention was. In terms of changing the ordinance, I know that was an issue, because that's a. Kind of an ordeal,
Right.
but there's a way you can change the ordinance without even committing to reducing the fee, if you just put in the words not to exceed $3,500. And that gives the council the flexibility, so that if somebody else comes in here and you want the fee to be back at 3,500, the council can do it without changing the ordinance. And so I think that addresses one of the other concerns. The other thing is, we're not incented to do good behavior because of the $3,500 fee. I mean, you've got other ordinances, not only in the marijuana ordinance, but in other places in your ordinances, to issue a penalty if we, you know, have a trashy place or whatever.
Mhm.
That you have other mechanisms to, you know, penalize us for bad behavior.
Mhm.
So, I've taken up enough time. Thank you.
No problem. And I know at the last council meeting, I don't think you guys came to that one, but Kim did apologize. Cause she had said that she thought that some of the stuff that you guys were doing, you were mandatory to
Right.
do. And she's cleared that up, that she was
Yeah.
wrong, and you guys do that stuff out of the kindness of your hearts. And
Thank you.
We do
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you.
that.
Yeah. All right.
So thank you for coming.
Well, thanks.
Thanks, John. Perfect. All right. Can I get a motion to approve May's finance minutes?
Yes.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? All right, items of business, budget for 2026-2027.
So really, all three items are just here for if you guys have questions. So. I did get the budget summary does have the updated millage rates on them. Get that from equalization. So all that is set, so what we should be collecting next year during taxes.
Just to, I think I already know what the answer is, but I wanted to be sure that I was thinking straight. A budget's not carved in stone. And we can adjust going forward without issue. Okay. And speaking of local routes. That's
It's in
In
here as 30,
revenue.
it's in here as 3,500 because we're gonna put it as 3,500 because.
But what about the 55,000? That's right here. I see it now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which, I mean,
like I said, I didn't do my
we
homework.
can definitely put it on as an item to talk about more in depth. Cause it isn't just from when they first start, it's. that license or that fee is for going forward and things that we do throughout the year that we might have to do. It's to cover us for more than just what happened when they first started, so. We can put it on as an agenda item to talk about.
He touched on a subject of, the social district and really benefits the bars. Um. And we don't get anything from a bar. Or do we?
Well, I mean, like, we'll get liquor license. Fees and
The-
stuff, yeah, so,
Do those come to the level of $55,000?
no, but we also have to think that that's not just their revenue, it goes from the
It's
whole
statewide,
state.
right.
And then it gets divvied out, because we have one. So even if they bring in less, someone else might bring in double for the year, and we're still gonna collect the same.
Mhm.
So their revenue, yeah, it plays a little part of it, because there's so many in the state. So that, I mean.
But without them, we wouldn't get that.
Right.
Um,
Well, we have an ordinance that allows us to have one, so if they left, we
we
have an opening for another.
get another. And he said, we're not going anywhere.
Right,
We'd
right.
just like you to
Well, they just opened another
Yeah.
place too, so,
Mhm.
I mean, if they're
still
hurting that,
be benefiting parents.
right, so if they're really hurting, then they wouldn't, I wouldn't.
It's an interesting proposal to change the verbiage to not exceed, because that would,
Yep,
my biggest concern,
I mean, it's still changing the ordinance,
it is
Just
changing.
not the future would happen.
We can do it once and then, because I mean, right now, local routes are they make it easy, right?
Yep.
But we don't know in the future what that might
Right.
be, so.
I do like that verbiage, cause that leaves us like we could for this year, say. In 2020 or for 2026's renewal. We're gonna drop it to $500. Next year, it will be $3,500 if you guys want a reduction. If a reduction is still needed, please come back and ask, and if we ask for different. Signs or,
Well, and we could do $2,000, we could do $2,500, we could do
right,
whatever we.
but
need.
then if they do leave, that leaves us open to. New people coming in, it's $3,500,
Yeah, cause you have to remember,
cause
like,
it's,
that 3,500 is pretty standard from everyone, even
Right.
even after the open, it's an annual thing.
right,
But yeah, I
And
agree
if
that,
we do change the ordinance, we will definitely write it for it to be changed
yeah,
and not have to rechange. the
Rechange it,
ordinance.
yeah.
I mean, going forward with any ordinance, we're finding out that some of the ordinance are just too set in stone.
yeah,
No wiggle room.
Yeah, we
Right.
need to be able to have that, it should say
not
the
exceed.
council will set the fee instead of
right,
putting
Well,
a dead number on it
we
because.
could do something along the lines of like how the library has to come to us every year.
Yeah.
And then they could come to us every year, and then we need to reflect back on the year, like, okay, well, did they have stuff, like, did the police have stuff going on?
that's
Within-
fair,
You know,
Right.
and whatever they had to have done.
We can get a report from staff on the amount
Yeah.
of.
Yep.
Time we put in and then. You have to account for there being a certain just administration fee. To administer every business in town, so. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, we're a little less because we don't license our businesses and we, do all that where, I'm sure Lansing has all that
Yeah.
going on and that's just part of their fee,
Right.
5,000, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess back to the tax revenue coming in, the. Bill 5873 that passed for the 6 mills, that's not going to affect the city, correct?
Well, so that whole package won't go through unless the one that's on the floor gets passed, and that's the 6% luxury tax. So nothing will move until that passes,
Right,
and there's a lot of negatives coming with that, so I don't know, so I'm trying to stay hopeful and positive that that won't go through, because
right,
I mean, okay. it's not gonna be that much of a benefit to everybody, because it's gonna hit everyone as a whole, the whole state, so $1,400, yes, that is a lot. But who's to say we actually are gonna save, each person's gonna actually save $1,400?
Right.
And then you're still gonna be taxed 6% on other things. So either way, this money is coming out of your pocket, whether it's through your property taxes or through a service somewhere else.
Right.
So I'm sure those will be heavy debates on the floor when it. But it, that won't, but everything else will.
Right.
So the personal property tax, because that was part of the one that went through, that will hit heavy here.
Yeah.
That'll be half.
Right.
100,000, I think, is about what we would collect now. Without it, we would not get 100,000.
Right.
So, yeah, that as a bill as a whole will hit small communities a lot. Pretty heavy. Because.
Unequally to larger. communities.
It just probably won't hit them as hard because they have revenue coming in other areas heavier, where we don't, I mean, we might have it, but.
But
Like
they
some
charge
people
for
are
a
making-
business license and.
Right, exactly, like. what
All
we're
the
saying
other
about land.
fees that they collect in addition to.
Right. Yeah, because, I mean, it's. Kind of, I can't believe it passed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An
From
election
what I've
year.
heard, it's going to make a big difference everywhere. Um, It'll just hurt the smaller ones more because they're not getting as much as like,
Because we're lean to begin with.
right,
Yeah.
we're lean to begin with and we're going to lose
$100,000.
$100,000. $100,000 to Lansing and East Lansing is a drop in the bucket because they also charge income tax
Right,
in those places too. But I have heard it's going to make a pretty big impact around everywhere.
Which
So,
is the exact opposite of what they want to do, but.
right,
You know, making the small towns back to what they were, so.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
yeah,
it's an election,
Yeah.
election year, which is,
it'll be interesting to see what actually does happen.
yeah. Fingers crossed that nothing happens.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else on the 26-27 budget?
EDA captured value, that is the number that they
That's like
they get that $36,000.
that's their
That should-
taxable value. So that's like their captured taxable value, and then what they get is, please add it up, so 9,
Okay.
6, so it equals 97,000.
It's what they,
That's what they collect, 97,000, yeah.
I knew it would, should be high. That's why I was scratching my head why they need to
Well,
fundraise.
that is part of, because of what they're part of, they make them fundraise. Doesn't mean that they have to bring in a certain amount of money,
No.
but they have to be doing events, and that's part of the Main Street program.
Oh.
So that's them saying you have to do things.
So
You're an EDA.
they can.
Well,
take on
not-
Bigger projects.
Yes. Collect, make,
Not
do
just
bigger
little
ones.
ones, like bigger ones. If you bring in enough, you know, you've got what you collect, but then if you make more, then you could take on bigger. Projects
Like
in the
a parking
TDA district or
Like,
a
like,
park.
Or a whole park, yeah,
or a street, or a sidewalk.
Yeah,
yeah.
they've done parks, they've done parking on it, they've done. They,
Yeah, because they paid for part of, the post office. doesn't it?
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah,
they're paying right, I mean, they're getting the front, all the sidewalks in front of. Rosemary and. That whole thing's gonna be paid by the.
They're gonna redo that sidewalk. I hadn't noticed that it's. There,
It's got, yeah, I mean, it's got some rips and things in it, but. They have a lot of customers that don't even know those words, so.
you need to walk 8 years old.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that,
Perception.
I. Pretty sure they'll probably take on another parking lot. You know.
How would you get on the bars?
Post office needs it worse.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
They both are bad.
All right, anything on the 2025-2026 budget amendment?
So I'm just gonna point out the highlighted areas. I know I put notes on it, but those highlighted areas are departments that actually stayed within the budget. I just was showing you and putting it on here that I moved numbers around within that budget and it's just staying in budget. The other areas are areas, well, the top part is all revenue that I increased and decreased. But I do have to give these like to the auditors, as the auditors do ask for the budget amendments that get approved, so. I just wrote everything on here, so I'm sorry that it's long. So a lot of things are like revenues increasing or decreasing and, again, the green or blue, kind of looks more blue, it looks green on my screen. It looks very green, it's this color on my screen. I don't know why it printed blue, but it did, or I guess scanned, printed and then scanned, but turned blue. But, yeah. These are all things I'm projecting are gonna be over by the next 3 weeks. Some are little, some are a lot, some are something, so, oh, I also wanted,
Anything that's unhighlighted
were areas that would have been out of budget.
over,
Mhm. Yeah, or, yes,
under is considered within, over
Yeah.
is the white.
yeah, but the red is what we, no, or the. Some of red, some of black, you just have to look at it.
If you've got reds,
So I did want, like, at the bottom where it says totals. Yeah, because it went over budget in that department, but there was another line item that was probably $1,000 under budget, and I just took from that, to put in there because we were not gonna use it.
so then it fell within.
Yeah,
Okay.
fell with- a lot of at the totals being, it looks really way off. You know, 300, we're gonna be off budget by 300 some thousand, but you have to think that we don't have reimbursements in all of our grants. The big one being the kayak launch, which is like 200,000, I think is what it was. So, I think it's 200.
230.
Well, that's like about what I've just calculated in rough with the trees that I have left to get. And then the match on, the main, yeah. Master plan, the master plan and then the kayak launch. So then it starts washing out to only about 50 grand over, which is actually better than what you when I did the amendment, so. Hey, I don't know how you look at it, but
So roughly, we're gonna go over by 50.
yeah, but. Still have a fund balance, so it's not anything that should be.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, well, yeah, like an auditor's not gonna. See it as anything or the state. The word.
It's not gonna raise a red flag.
Yes. Alarm anything. So
Alright, the department hours report.
this was one of those things that you guys asked for in that very long. Resolution, motion. So I just. It won't look like this every month because I did 2 months at a time, so that. It's just our first one, so I did April's and May's in here.
Yeah.
The budgeted hours, what I did was take the payroll budget that, I gave you guys, that's the last one, I believe.
Well, if you see 160 and 160, that
Well, and that's the
good.
thing, like, cause we're salary, so
it's gonna be,
we're never really gonna be over unless you guys want to try to give us some more hours.
Or
I
pay us
mean,
more.
pay us more or something. But
down. Down. Below,
I can't believe this thing's on one page, it's kind of.
so that's 160, 88, 160, 160. And then regular pay 128.5, budgeted 142, so we're under.
Yeah,
And then down to DPW, of course, that's 160, 160.
I should just print off of. Okay. Cause the 160 isn't in
Yeah, it wasn't, but I assumed that you meant it to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
um. Bathrooms, burials,
Mhm.
Esther's, that's.
That's sick leave,
Okay,
Just to get one.
Part-time.
yeah, for part-time.
what was the? Okay, it's on the next,
Yeah, I know, I don't know.
so
The paper that I printed was complete, right?
$668 is. What was budgeted in May of 26?
Yes,
And, okay, there it is, 688, and the actual was 838. 39 rounded. That's quite a lot. I would think.
I would think when you, I actually like having the prior year on there.
yeah, and I would do that again next year, I just want to put 2 months together.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because
Cause I don't like, I'm looking at 2 months was like,
maybe we need to look at revising what the budget is, because 2 years in a row, one year you're 200 over. The next year, you're still. Even budget 688, you're still off 150-ish. 160. Maybe that budget isn't realistic. I think the concern would be, you went from 805 to 838, so you pretty much have an extra work week. 32 hours extra work this year over last year. So that's something when we budget, we need to be cautious of, because that's going to increase the overall payroll.
Mhm.
And same trend in April, 710 to 7686. With reducing revenue, it's hard to increase
Was,
not only wages, but hours worked. So
is this an increase due to an increase in personnel? How many people did we have?
just budgeted, so, seasonal work starts May 1st. So the difference between May and April for budgeted, that's why there's a difference between those two. That's,
608 to 688.
uh. Well. Yeah, that's,
So it's 80 hours to
budgeted April
80 hours.
26 is the same budgeted May 25.
Wait, 80 hours is one full time.
yeah, I did this a million times just to look.
Okay.
I had the same
yeah.
thing that you were doing. Cause I'm trying to make sure that I did it right, yes.
In 25, we're way over. Oh,
I'm gonna print one for also, that's in color, the one that I did at the end. So, and I'll have.
so they're a little less muddy. Is that the point
Try to make it.
with colors?
Color, yes, I'm not learned that, I'm not color.
All right, I guess, do we have anything else before we adjourn the meeting?
There's always,
Yes, can I get a motion to adjourn?
sure.
Second.
All right, we just adjourned. We didn't take up any of your time this month, Dan.
No problem.
Right on the spot.